The players not from our neighboring state to the east. He hails from Kansas City, Missouri. Into the offensive zone. Dishing off with Stephen Davis. A shot on and held onto by Field. Netminder dressed for New Jersey this afternoon. Always have to take a second and double check. Typically throughout a season, mostly calling hockey games at night. But here, we've got games morning, afternoon, and evening. This is kicked off of a skate and comes out to neutral ice. Tatum Bedan goes D to D and played over for Metzger. Metzger listed as a forward on their online roster, but looks like at least now playing at the back end. Fed, who absorbed most of that shot. Thrown out front, looking for a deflection. Finding one was Sarkis Zamkuchin, but his shot off the mark. Now coming in on the forehand, a drive, and perhaps a second shot there by Siebert. But I think before he had that second look, Reed Adams poked that away with his twig. Best scoring opportunity for either side to this point of the contest. 9:04 left to go here in the opening frame, and I will say, as this is floated all the way down, we'll hold that thought. Cutting in and trying on the forehand, and we see once again that net does not want to stay on its moorings, particularly the goalpost to the netminder's left. There's a centering pass, actually more of a backdoor pass, and a good look there from Zuniga in tight. Adams has been tall to the task all afternoon. Ryan Gill feeds that down low. I was told no relation to Jimmy Gill. Jimmy Gill, George Haviland, and Dan Howard, the coaches for New Jersey. Now a 3-on-1 developing, elevated upstairs, and I tell you what, yes, the shot didn't end up on target for Langella. They'll float this one ahead for Thompson. Brandon Thompson is pressured. Tracked down by the Admirals, Zimpel, and the Admirals looking for a clearance. They won't get one, at least not yet. Gill swings it down low. One touched on by Thomas Knoll III. A heavy collision, and now bodies piling up at neutral ice from both sides, as we had 3 straight collisions that sent both players to the ice. Couple of toe dangles, snapping one past the netminder but wide was Knoll, who hails from Brookfield, Wisconsin. That is a shot blocked by the body of Marnauza. And Marnauza has been a big factor to this point. Played up, not out. And a good decision there by Fornetti. Realized if he took a shot right, then say Oklahoma. There's a behind the back D-to-D pass over for Langella. They'll float this one ahead for Thompson. Brandon Thompson is pressured. Tracked down by the Admirals, Zimpel, and the Admirals looking for a clearance. They won't get one, at least not yet. Gill swings it down low. One touched on by Thomas Knoll III. A heavy collision, and now bodies piling up at neutral ice from both sides, as we had 3 straight collisions that sent both players to the ice. Couple of toe dangles, snapping one past the netminder but wide was Knoll, who hails from Brookfield, Wisconsin. That is a shot blocked by the body of Marnauza. And Marnauza has been a big factor to this point. Played up, not out. And a good decision there by Fornetti. Realized if he took a shot right, Bendel. The Titans answered immediately with a Lincoln Walters goal. We've got a collision here, as that was Sonvico. You guys were responsible for that collision. Walters' goal at the 9:53 mark of the first period was unassisted. Then Nathan Jarzabek came up with a quick goal shortly after that. Cody Zuniga picking up the lone assist on that one. As this is played down low and the Titans will gather. One goal so far in the second period. Preston Filter from right down Broadway, high atop the circles. And that was on a wonderful feed from Max Siebert. And that'll get you caught up on the score sheet. 3-1, Milwaukee on top. Again, if you're just joining us, don't go far in between periods. We will have just 60 seconds between periods 2 and 3. As we had our lone Zamboni resurfacing at the halfway point of the second. Zaharias slows it down, but as it's brought in by Lincoln Walters, the goal scorer for New Jersey, it is carried in offside. 16.4 ticks left to go here in the second. Walters at the dot. Korhonen out of Kenosha, Wisconsin, was the center at the opposite side. New Jersey, 3 seconds left. Firing, they got it through the first level, but not the secondary. And New Jersey whistling a shot high up the right side. And Marnauza rims it around the roulette wheel. Kicked onto his forehand. Now Marnauza switches over again. They use the boards, and especially in a power play, you can do that because you know that the opposition is going to stay to the interior, and you've got those exterior lanes. In an ideal world, your your penalty kill is going to look like a box or a diamond, where you want to make sure you're protecting that inner meat of the defensive zone. We skate 5-on-5 as this is played deep by Merrill. 15:24 left to go in this one, so plenty of time still as this is tipped and the whistle blown. As that one was thrown out front. And the official may have had the whistle there a smidge earlier than New Jersey would have liked. I think that was Sonvico who got a deflection. There's a drive and a goal. They feed it up high, and Andrew Metzger finds the back of the net. It comes at the 1 minute. No need to do anything out of the ordinary and take any unnecessary risks. And that message can be emphasized tenfold now that it's just a 1-goal differential. With it is Langella, and he'll bank that off the boards, and this one does not have enough. Go here in the frame. Mentioned earlier, it is the last week of the MLB regular season. I would imagine a number of these Junior Admirals players are Milwaukee Brewers fans, and with a win yesterday afternoon in San Diego, the Brewers closing in on wrapping up the #1 overall record in Major League Baseball, brought into the offensive zone and steered away as Knoll tried to. This will come out of the zone, and it's played right back in by Jansen, offside the call. Really still is mathematically alive to catch the Brewers. The Dodgers with a magic number of 1 between they and the Padres to wrap up the NL West. Chicago Cubs and San Diego have gone ahead and clinched playoff berths. This is brought into the offensive zone, and hounded from the backside was Sonvico. And I'll be honest, that's one of those where I'd love to hear more out of Sonvico's teammates and letting him know, hey, you got somebody on you. You've got to move it. Either pick up a little bit more speed or more likely just move the puck. And I think he got caught from the blind side, and that's one where you're not expected to be able to see all areas, but you do have teammates who can. Even if the ones out on the ice can't, your bench can be yelling at you to let you know. Marnauza and now Langella both engage below the line. We're going to have a penalty upcoming, and this could be a huge one, as it will be a rough week as they represent the East Division of the NAHL. And the showcase features teams from all 4 divisions, and they're all playing the teams in the other divisions, the ones that they don't get to play the rest of the regular season. Then each division sends a postseason victor back here to Blaine, but over to Fogarty Arena in May for the Robertson Cup. Brought across the line and dumped down low. After it is Skutnik. Cutting over to the right was Sonvico, but they just couldn't find a lane for him, particularly because he's a left-handed shot. Langella tries to muscle that one through some bodies, and he gets punched wide of the net. 27 seconds left to go in the man advantage. 5:50 now left to go in regulation. New Jersey in desperate need of a goal here to get back within 1. Merrill works down low with Gill. Skutnik gets involved. They'll bank one over. And just unable to put it home was Gill. The offering from Sonvico at the point. And Gill frustrated there as this one is played down, and icing will be the call. Taking a look at the entire contest, the teams traded goals back and forth and back in the first period. Carlson for Milwaukee, Walters for New Jersey, and then Jarzabek for Milwaukee, all in a period of 1 minute and 34 seconds. 1 goal in the second. It was Filter to give Milwaukee a 3-1 lead. Metzger scoring in the third, but Fornetti and now Zuniga with an empty netter, making it a 5-2 score. Kicked off of the skate of Bendel to keep the zone, and right now Milwaukee just trying to keep the puck down in the west end of rink 5 and run out the clock, so to speak. And played over to the left point. You can argue, as that was Decker feeding Fornetti, that perhaps in a game you're down by 1, even tied up, that's a play looking for some offense.